every now and then I feel the need to leave Bali, to get out of here and just keep moving a little bit further afield. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm here at the port of Padang Bay. And Padang Bay, if you don't know, is the ferry port for ferries going further east. So if you want to go to Lombok, you go from here. And that's where I'm going today. I'm going from here in Padang Bay to Lombok. It's about a 4-hour journey normally, but it's quite windy today. Not going to see, the seas are a little bit angry, and that might mean it takes a little bit longer. They have to zigzag when you get these rough seas, and it can take a bit longer. Once I get to Lombok, I plan to be there for quite a few days and have a bit of a look around. I'm not familiar with Lombok like I am with other places in Indonesia. It's actually one of the places in Indonesia that I'm least familiar with, really, which is odd because it's so close to Bali and I'm familiar with Bali. So I plan to have a bit of a look around, see what's going on. I would love to check out some of those lesser known destinations, but of course I will be going to those popular destinations as well, like Kuta and Senggigi, because I've never been there. I just would love to see what they're like. So let's get stuck in. I'll end up in probably, I think, Mataram tonight, which is one of the world's least popular cities for tourism, I think. But I'm going to go there. I reckon you can always find some gold in these places. That's a bit dodgy, eh? Trying to get a grip on that. All right. There we go. Getting on the board the vessel. The last one was called the Mighty Shitter. I wonder what this one's called. Nice breeze out here, real nice. This is better than the last one I've been on. Let's get a little seat here. This is brilliant, this one. They're not always this classy. Ada kopi susu, Bu?
Ada.
Berapa, Bu? sebentar. Kopi susu, ABC.
10.000.
Ya. Ada apa lagi, Bu? Makanan ada apa?
Ada nasi, kopi, apa lagi?
Apa ya?
Ada. Ini makanannya.
Ini chips?
Ya, chips.
Atau jajanan ada?
Ya, ini citato.
Ya, satu ya.
Ya, citato. Siwit boleh?
Ya, seaweed oke. Atau yang
telur rebus, telur.
Nggak usah.
Ya. Yang mana? Ini enak.
Oh, besar.
Besar enak.
Nggak.
4 jam.
4 jam.
Ya, lama.
Trying to select which one to have is really difficult because you don't know really what you want. I reckon I'll just get a packet of chips. I'll get a coffee. Susan is wondering what she might get. I don't know, tea. I'll get her a hot tea. Yeah, boleh. We'll get a packet of biscuits as well. Sari gandum. Gandum is wheat. What we're also going to get is Susan's going to get a susu jahe, which is like a ginger milk drink. Instant, of course. The coffee's costing 10,000, which is what I've paid before on these boats, which is, like, I don't care. I will do a tour around this boat because I think it's pretty cool, but I'll just go and have a look at this view first, because that is a great little sunrise over there. Look at this. How good is that? This is Padang Bay, and then there's a temple over here, and then up there's that blue lagoon thing. That's where all the fast boats to the islands go to, like the Gillies. And then there's a bunch of hotels there. And then on the other side, over there, there's a few beaches that you go across the hill on. Well, it's actually over that side, really, when you look at it. It's over that hill. Wow, it's a beautiful morning, though. Look at that. There we go. It's a Naraya. Looks like an old Japanese one. In fact, I think the Mighty Shitter last time was a Japanese one as well, but probably a bit older, I reckon. All right, so let's go for a bit of a tour around this place. So this is the main seating area. These bench seats are really cool. Got a little table there, and everyone's sleeping. The signs say you can't sleep, and the staff came around and said, don't sleep on those seats because you've got to sort of keep them free for other people to sit on, but no one cares. This is the front of the ship. We're still in port, actually. We've been waiting over an hour, so it's fogged up. All right, that's better. Yeah, the waves are pretty big out there. That's a tiny little boat, people going out on a little snorkeling trip. And they're all screaming as they go across the waves. Brilliant. Brilliant. So, how do I look cool? These ferries, like they go every like 3 hours or something like that. I'm on the 6:30 ferry. It's now almost 7:30 and I got on here at about 10 past 6, I think it was. That's down to where all the motorbikes and everything are. You can see all the trucks and motorbikes. I think it's pretty busy today compared to normal. That's what it feels like on this boat. Last time I came on this boat wasn't busy at all. Here we go, look, it's beautiful up here. This is a beautiful section. Nice, isn't it? When it's a hot day, this is like a nightmare up here. It's just so scorching hot, but because, well, it's morning and it's very cloudy and it's quite windy, it's quite nice up here. Looks like we're gonna have a full boat today. We've only got a few more to come on. One of the problems they're having, and I sort of experienced it when I came on, is that because it's pretty high seas at the moment, the waves are a bit rough. Getting from the that little bridge there across can be problematic. So what they do, they put these rolled up ropes there, almost like a little speed hump thing to bridge the gap, because the boat's just going up and down, up and down. There generally isn't much to these ships. They're just usually just these steel frames, these steel skeletons, where they can just pack on as much cargo and trucks and so forth as possible. Now, if you're renting a car or renting a motorbike, or if you have your own, you can bring that across on here, just as long as you've got the correct paperwork, like the ownership documents and so forth. But even then, they didn't even check mine. They're supposed to, and sometimes when you get off, there is a little police check there, so you've got to have that documentation. If you want to just be a walk-on passenger, that's easy enough as well. To buy a ticket, you can either do it online through a thing called ferry. It's a bit of a pain. It doesn't work on your phone, so you've got to use a computer, and it's actually easier just to go straight to one of the offices. There's like agents around here. They'll charge you a little bit extra, an extra 10,000 or whatever, and you can pay an agent to buy your ticket. Just talking about money, when I bought that stuff down there with Susan earlier, afterwards she said we paid too much, and then, well, I didn't really calculate it, and she's probably right. Like, I've always paid 10,000, and I know that that's above the odds here in Indonesia. Like one of those small coffees you can get for 3,000, those sachet coffees at a little warung usually. So paying 10,000 is pretty expensive, but I always just pay it, I don't care. She said, but the whole lot was 70,000. She said that should be like 40,000 or 30,000 for all that. Less. So she was shocked, and she didn't say anything because she doesn't really like to. It's not that she doesn't like to negotiate. It doesn't want to cause any drama or hassle. Just pay it and just cop it. If she was on her own, she might have been a little bit more, you know, not argumentative, but would have negotiated a little bit more. But with me, so whatever. And this sort of taps into a real interesting cultural phenomenon here, and it's called harga bule. It's the foreigner price, and it's a real thing. Like, it's not just like, oh, you sometimes get charged more. I mean, in the minds of a lot of sellers, there is a foreigner price and there's a local price. In fact, after I bought all that stuff, that woman was standing right next to me. She was, someone asked her how much does a drink cost, and she said 5,000. So, like, she openly is charging me more. I actually don't like that, but I don't get too worried about it. The harga bule happens throughout all of Indonesia, wherever there is contact with tourists. If you go to a place where there's tourists going through, you'll get that happening. It's not just a Bali thing, it's not just a Lombok thing, it's everywhere. And it's pretty standard, and we just sort of have to put up with it in some ways, I think. Although, I have to say, if you can negotiate hard, sometimes you can get a local price on some things. But at the end of the day, if you really want a coffee and the person will not give you one unless you pay 10,000 instead of 5, well, what are you going to do? I don't really surf, so I don't really know, but those waves coming in look quite nice. Would they be surfable? I mean, it looks quite surfable to me. Looks quite nice. Like you could get a pretty long wave there. Look at it go. I mean, it looks decent enough to me, but I wouldn't really have a clue, but it just looks like nice, decent sized waves. I don't know how often that sort of happens though around here, whether it's just because it's a windy day or not. Okay, we're pulling up the ramp now, so we're just about to go. I was talking earlier about how, you know, I sometimes need to get out of Bali. I need to keep moving, and it's something that I sort of find happens quite regularly with me. I love Bali, I love Indonesia, but as long as I've lived here, I've also travelled to other places outside of where I've lived as well, because it's not really a holiday when you live here, so you still need to go on holidays elsewhere and explore. And even though it's really, really comfortable just to relax in Bali all the time, I mean, I could just do that forever. I think you do yourself a disservice if you don't make an effort to get out there every now and then and have a look around at some other places. So for me, Lombok this time, and some other places during the year I'll go as well. The other thing I've talked about a little bit in previous videos is that sometimes after you've stayed here a while, you stop noticing certain things that would have been interesting once upon a time. You just glance past them. And I've got a really bad habit when I walk around of not seeing some things that other people might see that say, oh, that's interesting. And one of the things about when you get out of your comfort zone a little bit is that you remember that, hey, that market over there or that little alleyway over there or walking over there is going to be interesting. It sort of stimulates your excitement for Indonesia once again. And I suppose when I was talking about you need to keep moving, is that a lot of people who become, you know, old and bitter, the grumpy old men, those people I find are generally sitting at home all day and not really doing much, not really getting out there, not really pushing. I think as you get older, it becomes easier just to sit at home and not really do anything, and just trying to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and keep pushing and keeping your mind active and getting yourself grounded again as to why you love this country. I think it's really important. The other thing I like about traveling around outside of Bali is it gives you a sort of like counterpoint or some comparison to what you're really experiencing in Bali about, you know, whether it just be prices or culture or the way things are done. I really like that comparing and contrasting thing. When I go to a place like Lombok, I'm sure things are going to be quite different there. And I sort of like that as well. And I suppose the point of all of this is that when you strip away some of the things that sort of made your life meaningful in the past, like work, and for some people it's family and that sort of stuff, what have you got left? And I sort of like trying to disrupt things a little bit in my life so that I keep things interesting and that I don't get bored and I'm stimulated and I'm learning new things. That were the waves I was looking at earlier. Look at that. That is a fairly decent sized wave, that one. On this boat, they've got this little side section as well, which I think historically would have been open to the world, I think, and they've enclosed it as air conditioned, which is really cool. Nice area, little canteen down the back. I reckon it might be cheaper than what I bought my stuff for earlier as well. They've got a selection of, well, they don't have any beers on there, but they've got soft drinks and so forth. And they've got chips and they've got, you know, noodles and that sort of stuff. I'm with these lovely ladies who are coming back from Bali to Lombok, and they've just been at a Herbalife conference. Ada acara untuk Herbalife ya. Yeah. Itu bisnis lumayan besar di Lombok, Herbalife. Yeah. Udah lama ada Herbalife di sana juga atau baru?
Baru kalau di Lombok sudah sekitar 15-an tahun, 16 tahun.
Oh, lumayan lama.
Tapi belum booming kayak di Bali.
Oh, lebih booming di Bali daripada di Lombok.
Ya.
Jadi ada banyak pelajaran dari Bali yang bisa masuk ke Lombok juga.
Ya.
Kalian ke Bali berapa sering?
Ada yang sudah 2 kali, ada yang baru sekali. Kalau saya baru sekali.
Nah, dan harus menginap di sana juga.
Iya.
Jadi lumayan mahal juga ya.
Kebetulan kita punya mentor Lombok Bali. Oh. Dia punya rumah di situ di Bali, kita di rumahnya.
Tapi adalah sedikit. Ya, tapi masih ya butuh uang untuk Grab, ferry, taksi.
1 juta setengah habis. Untuk makan, untuk
Tapi mungkin itu seperti investasi ya. Mungkin nanti bisa dapat uang itu kembali mungkin lebih. Oke, terima kasih ya ibu-ibu untuk ngobrol hari ini ya. Fantastic ladies. In the distance along there, that coastline, that's the southwestern coast of Lombok. And I'm sort of thinking about maybe going there over the next sort of few days. I wouldn't mind exploring that part of the world. It looks quite interesting. And then Lombok is actually in there, and then Mataram's over there, and then Senggigi is up that way somewhere. But what I'm sort of really interested in is that I've heard a lot about Lombok, and you know, people say a lot of things about Lombok, but I don't really have a vision of it in my mind about what it actually looks like. The thing about it is that all I can really sort of get my mind around is that there's a resort area called Senggigi, that there's the islands, you know, the Gillies, there's Kuta, which doesn't really appeal to me, but I'm going to go and check out anyway. That's all what I've got in my mind. I haven't really seen it in the flesh, so I'm going to be really interested to see what that sort of turns out like over the next you know, few days or a week or so. So the boat's coming into dock, and I had to get down here through the trucks into the motorbike section, which is here. I've got to find my bike in there. Hello, hello. Touring ya. Yeah, dari Bali. Yeah. So my bike is over. No, that's my bike there. Beautiful, easy. Okay, that was a bit rough, a bit narrow, but we're off. All right, got Susan on the back now, and we can go. Let's get stuck in. We'll just get out of the port first, and then I'll have to figure out where to go. I've got myself a hotel booked for the night close to the centre of town, and I'll have to figure out how to get there. Mataram's a fairly big city, so it takes a little bit of time to sort of navigate the place. Here in Lombok, I mean, I can get up to 100 kilometres an hour on this road really easily, and it's quite smooth, no potholes, it's quite nice. A bit different to Bali actually. Bali doesn't have so many roads like this. Welcome to Mataram. I don't know what that is. Air traffic control tower, or what is that? What is it? Rocket. Susan reckons it's a rocket. I hope it's not something religious and we've just offended the whole island. First things first, I mean, the driving culture is always different in every part of Indonesia, and it's no different here in It is different here in Lombok than it is to Bali. You've got to be a little bit more careful here in Lombok, I think, even though the speeds are quite high. The culture's just a bit different. Also, it's really hot here, much hotter than Bali is at the moment. I'd give it another, 2 or 3 degrees hotter. I'm coming to a place called Warung Snoepen for a bit of lunch first. They've got an outlet in Bandung. I think it started off in Bandung, and I know they were very good in Bandung, so let's see it. Hello. Terima kasih. Ooh, look at that. That looks nice, doesn't it? Some nice products here. Very Bandung style. Okay, got a couple of pastries and a coffee, which looks incredible. I also got a nasi goreng, which is on its way as well. I don't know how much the coffee is. How much was the coffee? 28,000. They're the prices outside of Bali. 28,000 for that. And it's as good as anything you'll get in Bali. It takes me right back to Bandung, actually, that style of coffee. So I've got a kuih naman. It's a little bit warm. It's one of those, oh, here we go. That is a buttery pastry. Wow. I just tore it in half, but it's like a quarter. And I was going to share it with Susan, so I'll eat half of that. That's good. So they're calling this a lemon curd croissant. It's a bit like a cruffin. That's only 25,000. No, actually that's 18. The previous one I had was only 25. Oh, filled with lemon curd. Look at that. Did I tell you that my hot cappuccino was only 28,000, which is a bargain? This is a smoked beef brisket nasi goreng. It looks good. Different style to what you might get in Bali. It looks grey. Unreal. Well, if that's anything to judge Lombok by, I think we're in for a good trip this trip. It looks like it's going to rain this afternoon. I'll just get to this hotel, give you a quick swing around it and show you what it's like. Got myself a little guest house called Guarding Guesthouse. I'm paying 223,000 rupiah, although if you book straight with the hotel, they'll give it to you for 200,000, which I didn't know before I did it. That's what it looks like real simple style. So let's have a look at the room. I mean, I like to come to these places not because they're cheap, but I actually find I prefer the cheaper places anyway, unless I know that it's really going to be good. If I know it's going to be really good, I'm happy to pay for a really nice place. But when you get those sort of mid-range rooms, they often, I don't know, they disappoint me quite often, to be honest. And the good thing about a highly rated cheap hotel is that, oh, here we go. Oh, we even have a housewife. Very clean. Large room. Looks like a clean bed. That's odd, that's just me. Bathroom, hot water, proper toilet, air conditioning. Oh, they have air conditioning? And all of this for 200,000 rupiah, absolute bargain. Well, that's a good start to my trip here in Lombok. I'm going to be here for a week or so. I haven't really decided when I'm coming back yet, but over the next sort of week or so, I will be going around the island a bit. I'll be looking at Mataram in a little bit more detail. I'll go to a couple of the main tourist centres and show you what they're like at the moment. I've never been there, so I don't know what they're like. And then go to a few places which are lesser known, but are on the radar of some visitors to Lombok. Some beaches, maybe some islands, some surf spots which I've heard are very good but aren't really mainstream like Kuta. So I hope you stick around for the rest of my series here in Lombok. Really enjoyed taking you along for the ride today. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time and sampai jumpa.